What's going on, boys? Welcome back to more Trinoline. And the last couple episodes, hey, they may have been scuffed, but that's what we do here, boyo. We scuff all of the episodes. Because professional, 100%. Anyways, let's see. I left the house after putting Shirone into sleep mode. Big yikes, my guy. How long had it been since Mom and I talked here? Just the two of us. Since Dad relocated. This boy relocated. You got an awfully serious look on your face. I don't remember who this person is. Do I? I looked out at the beach, not wanting my expressions to give away how I felt. Shirone-chan really is a good girl. Robot. Thing. Just like you said, Shirone-chan has her own unique charms. She almost made me feel like I had another daughter, you know. Is that the mom? I don't know. I was happy to hear the word daughter come out of her mouth. I think so. I could be wrong. I probably am wrong. I am like 100,000% sure I'm wrong, but hey. Oh wait, no, this is... No, that's not her, never mind. Why did you make her a surprise for me anyway? I had no idea Shirone would be coming to stay with us. And then there was the fact Mom had even met her beforehand. This is the mom, okay. Because Shirone-chan is like my android child. How do you mean? You know how they say children are a gift from God? Not that she's your child or anything, of course. I'm so confused. Is this the mom or not? I was more curious about how Mom was trying to treat Shirone like a human, rather than all this talk about her being her child and so forth. Unlike me, you've been trying to treat her like she's actually Shirone. That's because she looks exactly like a human. On the outside, anyway. Is that a fact? So much so, I almost wondered if they'd created her by using Shirone-chan's DNA. That could be possible using cloning technology. Hell yeah, brother, Elon Musk. That's not what she said. She said exactly, boys, but still, basically the same. It wouldn't surprise me if Sarah had access to that sort of technology. I think you mean Elon. But organic bodies were an entirely different field of study. That boy gonna be making, robotic, cat girls in the future? Stonks. I wish I had chased after your dad, but you're still a student, so I would have felt sorry for you if I had left the island to head overseas. I had heard something similar back when it was decided. Dad would be relocating overseas too. Several years after Shirone passed away, Dad started talking about leaving the island for a while. Wasn't sure why, but based on a true story, he was talking. No, I'm kidding. Based on the way he was talking, I felt like it was all set in stone, and I had no choice but to accept it. Shirone-chan was also part of your dad's research. Pretty sure I've already heard that from Sarah, but thank you, I guess. I'm well aware of how much your dad loved Shirone-chan. That love helped create Shirone-chan robot, so I wanted to love her too. But why? Why does loving her hurt so much? What she said made my chest clench tightly. I'm having a heart attack. Rip. F in the chat. Then came the onset of a tiny prickling pain within my heart. Yep, he's having a heart attack, boys. He's dead. It's the end of Shun. He's dead. New main character. Kush Smoker 69 has joined the chat. I want to accept her. I really do think that from the bottom of my heart. I want her to be there as Shirone-chan, as my daughter. Mom, that's enough. This is the end of our story. All I could sense was that she was forcing herself, so I stopped her. Shun, I'm sorry. Are you, though? Is it okay if I tell you the truth? Nah, not at all. Go ahead, I responded with a big nod. I want to see Shirone-chan. Ellipsis. Oh. Big rips, my dude, to whatever she said. This part of the conversation may have been why she suggested we talk here at the beach. At the bitch, I mean, what? Why can't I see her? Ellipsis. Mom was emotional, yet trying her hardest to remain calm. I could sense just how important every word she spoke was. Fucking Chad, dude. There was a fire blazing in her heart, but it wasn't hot to the touch. That was the impression I got from her. Ah ha ha. It's so quiet. Mom slowly walked up to the water's edge. I'm on the edge. You know, I probably haven't thought about Shirone-chan this often, ever since she passed away. That probably explains why I've been so touchy lately. Time for some smooth jazz. Maybe. I would ordinarily never come here, but I want to see her. I want to see Shirone-chan one more time. I couldn't see from here, but I was sure Mom was crying. What's she gonna do? Go drown herself? Like, what do you mean you wanted to see? You can't. It's not gonna happen unless you, like, yeet yourself off a bridge or something. You know, Kobe style. Edit that out. I wanted to see Shirone, too. If only it were possible to see her. That's a good one, isn't it? You can't see dead people. That's obvious. These lukewarm breezes are kind of awful, huh? Did the salty air... Why is the air salty? Did it lose in a cod or something? Did the salty air always smell this much of the sea? Eee. I walked barefoot after my mom along the unlit beach. Wow, this beach isn't lit? Like, why are we at a beach that's not lit? You know what I'm saying? It's gotta be lit, fam. Almost like I was on air. The ground beneath my toes felt more unstable than it would when wearing sandals. It was kind of scary, but also made me feel like I could understand how Shirone must have felt. Not bad at all. I mean, wasn't she, like, partially blind? Or something like that? I think so. It could be wrong. It hadn't taken long for me to get used to seeing Sarah in the classroom. 2-1. She would... Blah, 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 blah. Hey, oh, baby. She would often mingle with our classmates and seemed to be leading an ordinary school life. Morning, Shun. Good morning, infidel. I never expected Sarah to be the one to greet me first, so it immediately put me on guard. You okay, Chief? Huh, I guess so. Your eyes are really red. Were you up all night playing video games or something? Yeah, something like that. It's either yes or no. It's not something like that. Like, what do you mean, dude? Shirone doesn't pull any punches, so you'll never win against her. Rude. Good to know. I hadn't been playing any games with Shirone, but it made sense that I couldn't possibly beat an android. I mean, you could program them to lose every now and then, I'm pretty sure. Right? Like, just make a robot in the future for couch play or something, I don't know. Shit's crazy. Elon's gonna make cat girls you can play video games with. The bigger surprise here was that Sarah and Shirone must have played games together before she came to my place. Try to keep those late nights to a minimum. If you fizzle out on me, it would be impossible to finish the experiment. Yeah, about that. What? It's about Shirone. Could you spare some time? After school I can. Thank you. What the fuck is it? Fucking eyes went ham and cheese right there. At the birdcage then. The birdcage theater? Sarah agreed to meet me without asking what I actually wanted, as if she would accept it no matter what. Honestly, she was extremely trustworthy. I took my seat and decided to piece together what I wanted to say to her first. So then, Sarah was the first one to speak. I had visited this place plenty of times in the past, but I always felt oddly nervous whenever I was alone with Sarah. Did something happen to Shirone? Well, there's something I want to ask you first. Go for it. Kobe. Hypothetically speaking, what would happen to Shirone if I wanted to give her back to you? Damn savage, dude. Let me see. First, I'd ask you, why? Sarah quickly answered. For example, I would come collect Shirone immediately if she did something to hurt you, or fucking Kaoru? Something like that. While she may be Trino, she's no different from any other android. I don't imagine she could break any of the 3 laws. I see. I poured everything I had, including an enormous amount of money, into creating Shirone, so it'll be a real issue if you give her back to me so easily. I guess that's just how things go. If you wanted to return her, I'd have no choice but to comply, even if she hadn't done anything to hurt either of you. What would happen to her then? I can't go into specifics about what would happen afterwards, but her experimental data, or Shirone's memory, would eventually be reset. You mean deleted? Delete it. I would make a backup, of course. It might be more accurate to say she would be reinitialized. Then hypothetically, if I were to ever see her again, it'd be a different robot. She wouldn't remember you or me. She would be Shirone and nothing more. That might be a weird way of describing her, though. Is that really what would happen? Even if they looked the same, I doubted you could still call her by that name if Shirone's memory wasn't installed. Essentially, if she were returned to Sarah, Shirone would die and a new android, sharing Shirone's form, would take her place. Yes, that's what she said. That is exactly what she said. I never thought you would ask me something like that. Do you really want to give her back to me? No, that isn't it. It would appear my unintentional barrage of questions had exposed what I was thinking to Sarah. Fundamentally speaking, this is the same as any other android experiment. Does that mean I'll have to say goodbye to her someday? We haven't established that sort of deadline just yet, but it's a different story altogether. if you decide to relinquish her yourself. Relinquish? To be honest, Mom is having trouble accepting Shirone. I stopped beating around the bush and just came out with it. I've already heard about that from Kaoru-san. Huh? Kaoru-san hasn't done anything about it yet since she wanted to continue talking to you about it. Really? I'm simply an observer. I wanted to avoid saying anything that might have an effect on the experiment. I admired Sarah's professionalism. Because of that, I may not be able to give you any good advice. I'm sorry, Shun. I feel like I have just wasted your time. No, that's not true at all. I see. This is something Mom and I need to decide. Yeah, I mentioned this before, but I'll accept whatever decision you make. Whatever it may be. I was prepared for that. Or I was prepared? What the fuck? I was prepared for that much when I created Shirone. I had to give whether or not to return Shirone to Sarah some serious thought. She was a special android, one Sarah had spent her whole life making. Don't worry, Shirone is an android I made. She would never do anything to make you sad, I guarantee it. Thank you. I still felt apprehensive, but I knew sitting down and facing Mom and Shirone was the right thing to do. For both Sarah's sake, and because this experiment originated from Dad's research. I took her words to heart and walked out of the birdcage. Oh, that's the birdcage. Gotcha. I was confused. I was like, what do you mean? Shortly thereafter, Sarah and I talked about school a little before saying goodbye. By the time I headed home, sunset had long since passed, and the moon hung brightly overhead. I'm home. We'll find out what happened next time, boyos. Thank you for hanging out. Peace.